In the summer of 1795, a Scottish naval surgeon named Archibald Menzies sat down to dinner at the governor's table in Valparaiso, Chile. Dessert arrived. The governor served a bowl of strange, large seeds. Menzies did not eat his. He pocketed them. Back on the ship, he planted them in a small box on deck. 5 seeds germinated. By the time his vessel reached Britain, he had 5 living specimens of a tree no European botanist had ever cultivated. A tree 200 million years old. A tree that had survived the age of dinosaurs, volcanic eruptions, ice ages, and continental drift. Those 5 seedlings would go on to do something nobody expected. They would thrive. Not just survive in Britain as a curiosity, not cling to life in heated glass houses. They would flourish in the cool, wet air of Scotland, as if the Andes and the Highlands were somehow the same place. 2 centuries later, as climate change burns down the tree's native forests in Chile, the story of why that happened is becoming one of the more quietly remarkable conservation stories in the world. This channel exists to find exactly these stories, the ones happening quietly, without headlines. If that is the kind of thing you are here for, subscribe. New ones every week. The tree is Araucaria araucana. You probably know it as the monkey puzzle, and Scotland, of all places, may be where it survives. To understand why that matters, you have to understand what is happening in Chile right now. The monkey puzzle is the national tree of Chile. The Mapuche people, who have lived beneath its canopy for thousands of years, call it the Pehuen. The Pehuenche, one branch of the Mapuche, are literally named after it. Pehuen means Araucaria. Che means people. People of the Pehuen. The large edible seeds, similar to pine nuts but far bigger, fed generations through harsh Andean winters. For the Pehuenche, the Pehuen was not simply a tree. It was the reason they existed as a people. The trees themselves are extraordinary. In the mountains of southern Chile, between 900 and 1,800 meters above sea level, they grow to 45 meters tall. The oldest specimens have lived more than 1,300 years. Some researchers believe individuals may reach 2,000. The sharp interlocking leaves that make the tree so visually distinctive are thought to be an adaptation against ancient megaherbivores that browsed the Mesozoic forests where Araucaria first appeared. The leaves remain on branches for an average of 24 years, and this is among the longest leaf lifespans recorded for any plant species on Earth. But the tree that survived 200 million years of geological violence is struggling badly against 2 centuries of human pressure. Logging began in earnest when European colonists discovered the timber. Straight-grained and largely knot-free, Araucaria was ideal for ship masts, railway sleepers, and mine props. Entire industries were built around it. Chile eventually declared the tree a national monument in 1976. A full logging ban came in 1990. By then, the damage was done. What came next was fire. Climate change has made the Andes drier. The wet Araucaria nothofagus forests that once buffered natural fire cycles are burning more frequently and more severely. In one fire alone, 1.1 million trees were destroyed in a single Chilean national park. Old growth stands that had stood since before the Roman Empire vanished in days. In 2013, the IUCN upgraded the monkey puzzle to endangered. The population across Chile and Argentina is now severely fragmented. The area of occupancy, the actual land the species meaningfully occupies, is 392 square kilometers. For a species that once blanketed entire mountain ranges, that number is a reckoning, and this is where Scotland enters the story. In 1991, the Royal Botanic Garden Edinburgh established the International Conifer Conservation Programme. The program's core insight was simple and uncomfortable. For threatened conifers, the safest place on Earth might not be where they evolved. It might be somewhere else entirely, a place where the pressures killing them, fire, drought, deforestation, simply do not exist. Martin Gardner, who coordinated the program for decades, was direct about it. The monkey puzzle, he said, loves the Scottish climate. It grows incredibly well here. Scotland is wet and mild, and largely free of the fire risk that is erasing the tree's native range. The cool oceanic summers that make agriculture difficult on Scotland's west coast turn out to be precisely the conditions in which Araucaria thrives. The Royal Botanic Garden. Edinburgh flew in thousands of seeds from Chile. Provenance mattered. Seeds were collected from genetically distinct populations across different parts of the Andes to capture as much of the species' genetic diversity as possible. More than 700 seedlings were raised in Edinburgh's glasshouses and distributed to a network of sites across Britain. The centerpiece of that effort is Benmore Botanic Garden on the Cowal Peninsula in Argyll, managed as a satellite of the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh. Benmore receives more than 2,000 millimeters of rainfall per year. Its Chilean hillside was designed to recreate the conditions of a South American temperate rainforest, with Nothofagus, Fitzroya, and at the center of it all, more than 150 monkey puzzle trees, now the largest cultivated collection of the species outside Chile. The trees at Benmore are not struggling. They are not merely surviving. Specimens here have grown to monumental proportions, reaching heights that rival what the species achieves in its native range. One individual, measured at chest height, records a girth of more than 3 meters. This is a tree that in Chile requires over 1,000 years to fully mature. The Benmore specimens are nowhere near that age, and yet they have developed a mass and presence that surprises the botanists tending them. The explanation, when you look at it plainly, is both obvious and strange. In Chile, the monkey puzzle evolved for a harsh volcanic landscape. Thin soils, short growing seasons, periodic fire. Every adaptation in the tree's history was forged against scarcity. Scotland provides the opposite: deep, fertile soils, abundant rainfall, a mild temperature that sits almost exactly in the band where Araucaria photosynthesizes most efficiently. No fire season, no drought. The tree responds the way any organism responds when the limits that shaped it are suddenly removed. It grows. Gardner put it directly. Climate change will kill these trees in Chile because they will not have enough water, and it will also promote the fires that destroy them. In Scotland, neither threat exists. The monkey puzzle is not merely tolerating the highlands. By every measurable standard, it is flourishing in them. That paradox, a species endangered at home and thriving abroad, is not unique to Araucaria. Botanists call sites like Benmore Ex-situ conservation, which means conservation outside the native range. For decades, this was considered supplementary, a backup for species that could not be protected in the wild. But as climate change accelerates habitat loss across the southern hemisphere, the logic is shifting. For some species, the wild is no longer safe. The insurance policy is becoming the primary plan. A tree planted today will not produce its first seeds until it is 30 to 40 years old. The Benmore collection, built over decades, represents a lead time that cannot be hurried. There is no shortcut here, no quick fix, only the long, patient work of waiting for an ancient species to find its footing somewhere new. There is also an older story folded inside this one. Those first specimens Menzies carried back became a Victorian obsession. The tree's alien geometry, horizontal branches spiraling upward, the trunk rising through layers of interlocking spines, made it an instant status symbol. Estates across Scotland planted them. The avenue at Castle Kennedy in Dumfries and Galloway, planted in 1844, still stands. The Scottish champion specimen there measures 27 metres. Those Victorian plantings, scattered across the country and now largely forgotten as anything other than garden curiosities, are themselves a kind of accidental conservation archive. Specimens planted 150 years ago are producing cones. Squirrels in Edinburgh's Botanic Garden are dispersing seeds into the surrounding soil. A tree from Chile has naturalized, quietly and without ceremony, into a Scottish landscape. The word that keeps appearing in the scientific literature when researchers write about monkey puzzles in Scotland is unexpected. The trees are unexpectedly vigorous. Their growth rates are unexpectedly high. Their adaptation to Scottish conditions is not fully explained. Something about Scotland suits this tree. And now, with Chile burning and the species' foothold in its native range shrinking every decade, that something may matter more than anyone planned. Share your thoughts below.